According to my time clock, it's a couple minutes early, but it appears that everyone's ready to start. We have our board seated, so go ahead and call the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners regular session meeting to order, December the 7th, 2020 at 5:58 p.m. by my time clock up here. So the first thing I'd like to do is to introduce to everybody who's here. Some of you have met him and some of you have not. Our new interim county manager, Mr. Ray Allen, who's sitting at the table over here. So if you've not welcomed him, please welcome him tonight. He is filling in for us through the end of January right now, and he is from Albemarle, so some of you may know him, but welcome him to Montgomery County and let him know how friendly we are. Our next order of business is the swearing in of the newly elected commissioners. We have 3 new ones, and we have John Deaton, our clerk of court, here tonight to swear them in.
Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Deaton.
Does anyone prefer to affirm rather than swear on the testament? Okay. Do each of you have a testament up there? Well, I was just trying to maintain distancing, but if they're fine with it, I'm okay with it.
Don't work like
I
that.
understand. Thought you were gonna stick them together.
Yeah, right, sure.
All right, well, if you guys will step down here, we'll.
Y'all step down there with John.
Yeah, that way you'll still be able to. You'll still be able to distance some. I'll give you Jeremy. Right. Give you guys each one to look at in case my best Montgomery County draw confuse you on what words we're looking for. All right, if you'll place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Janet Larson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and maintain
that I will support and maintain
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution and laws
and the Constitution and laws
of North Carolina,
of North Carolina,
not inconsistent therewith,
not inconsistent therewith,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and that I will faithfully discharge
the duties of my office
the duties of my office
as County Commissioner,
as County Commissioner,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your name,
I, Mary Larson,
do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor to support,
and that I will endeavor to support,
maintain, and defend
maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge
to the best of my knowledge
and ability,
and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
I state your name,
I, Mary Larson,
do further swear
do further swear
that I will well and truly execute
that I will well and truly execute
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of County Commissioner
of County Commissioner
for the County of Montgomery
for the County of Montgomery
according to the best of my skill
according to the best of my skill
and ability,
and ability,
according to law,
according to law,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
That's a long.
Let me get you guys to sign each of these, and I'll sign, and we can let you have a copy, and we'll give one to the clerk. Yes. Here, I've got an extra one there. I think we got two. These both of them, I'll give you the original thing.
We are streaming live tonight, by the way. So y'all made history again tonight. Thank you, Mr. Deaton.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
We welcome all of you to the board. Thank you for accepting this responsibility, and we look forward to working with you. And next on our agenda is the selection of the chairman of the Board of Commissioners. So what's the pleasure of the board?
I would like to make a nomination that Mike Crisco serve as the chairman of the board.
Okay, we have a nomination that Mike Crisco serve as chairman. Do we have a second?
I second.
Nomination and second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I don't know if that's a
Okay,
good thing
Mr.
or a bad
Crisco?
thing.
You gonna come over here? Good. And I'll move over there.
I'll bring my name plate too, so get you wrong. Get us mixed up.
They'll know that thinking on you.
Oh. Well, thank y'all for that vote. Sometimes I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Dottie's she's been at it for a while. The next item that we're going to do is the nomination for a vice chair. Does someone would like to make a motion for a vice chair?
I nominate Dana Dawson for vice chair.
Are there any other nominations? Since there's no other nominations, do I have a motion that we select Dana Dawson as the vice chair?
I make a motion.
Motion's made by Mary Hassel,
I second.
second by Kay Robinson. And all in favor?
Aye.
All righty, so congratulations, Dana.
Thank you, sir.
The next item on the agenda is the invocation, and Dottie is going to lead us in that.
Let's all bow our heads, please. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for this opportunity to serve the people of Montgomery County. Thank you for our 3 new commissioners who were just sworn in tonight, and thank you for Mr. Allen, who's agreed to serve as our interim director. We ask for your wisdom and your guidance as we strive to do your will for all the people of our county. We pray too, Father, that this COVID-19 will go away and we can focus on our other needs. We ask that you comfort those who have lost loved ones to the COVID-19 and put your arms around them and let them know that they're still loved. And we thank you for all your many blessings. Thank you for each person that's come out tonight to support the county and the commissioners. In thy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Dottie. The next item is the Pledge of Allegiance, and we usually ask the county manager, but since we're going to do it a little different tonight, so I'm going to lead you, and if you are able to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please do so. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. The next item is the approval of the agenda. Does anybody have any questions?
No, I make a
I'll make-
motion that we accept the agenda as written.
Motion's made by Commissioner Dawson. Do I have a second?
A second.
Commissioner Dottie Robinson. All in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. The next item is the public forum, and I think there's a few people signed up. I don't know. Mr. Manager, would you read the rules for the public forum?
Yes, sir. Will do. Sorry about that. The public comment period shall be for the purpose of allowing members of the public to comment on county business or items on the Board of Commissioners' agenda. This period shall not serve as a forum for debate with the Board of Commissioners. Remarks shall be addressed directly to the board and not to staff, the audience, or the media. The chairman shall open the public comment period. Any person who wishes to speak shall approach the podium and announce his or her name and physical address prior to making comment. Any citizen desiring to comment on a matter of public interest within the authority of the Board of Commissioners to legislate in an open forum shall be allotted 3 minutes. Citizens may yield their time on a specific topic by utilizing no more than 2 citizens' time slots. This will allow up to, but no more than 9 minutes. The county manager shall notify the chairman upon the expiration of allocated time.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. If there's anyone else here that would like to speak, action item on the courthouse monument decision, if you would like to speak on that part, the public forum would be the time to do that. And so, in seeing that Willie Moore is the first person on the list, if you'd come up and state your name, Willie, and your address for the record.
My name is Willie Moore. I live at 210 Pinewood Avenue, Rayford, North Carolina. Can I leave this off while I speak?
You good?
Okay.
You can take that thing down.
All right. I'm here in reference to the monument, and it's weighing heavy on my heart because I am a resident of, I was born and raised right here in Montgomery County. I was actually born right here at Montgomery Memorial Hospital. But I'm also a war veteran. You know, if you look at the plaques out here on this side, you'll find my name. I'm not just a veteran. I fought in Iraq, I fought in Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait. I represented my country, but most importantly, I represented Montgomery County in wars for all of us. And now, with that being said, I'll tell you why I'm offended by the Confederate emblem on this statue. I'm offended because it reminds me, even though it's part of our history, it's a part of the history of this county, I don't feel like it's a part of history that should be celebrated. And if I can help you understand that, I'll give you a little transparency about me. In the late 90s, for 5 to 6 years, I was one of the largest drug dealers in the county, right here in Troy. Right here in Troy. Not only was I a drug dealer, I was a married man with 3 children, but several lady friends on the side. And I say that to say, as I look at this, as I walk by and show my children, my grown men now, this statue over here that celebrates their father as a soldier, as a Marine that fought for his country, I would never, ever want to have to sit there and let them drive by and see a monument that said that their father was the biggest philanderer in Montgomery County. Their father was one of the largest drug dealers in Montgomery County. Because at the time when I was selling drugs, I felt like I was doing right because I was feeding my family. When I was out there chasing all those girls and married and doing all those heinous things according to the word to my wife, I felt like that's what a man, a nice alpha male was supposed to do, is to have a concubine. But I was wrong. But at the time, I felt like that was right. But as time has changed, as the word has changed me, I know I was wrong. And that's still part of my history, still part of my veins, and still times I have to sit down and talk to my children about my wrongs, but I don't celebrate my wrongs. That Confederate statue, those Confederate flags, they're a reminder of a war of where some of our people, Montgomery County, fought on the wrong side of justice. And I believe it's part of our history, and it's part of yours just like it is mine. But the thing about it is that flag has been used to intimidate people that look like me for years and years to come. That same flag allowed people to drive down on a football field in the middle of a graduation in 1987 and burn a cross and intimidate and make us afraid. That flag right now is sitting on an emblem without the police department, and they're still doing the same thing they were doing 50 years ago, treating African Americans like we're nothing. We have nobody to support us. Where's the blind justice? Where's the liberty for all? Where's the support? I like to walk through my county with my children with pride, just like anybody else. I'm from the South, so I should have Southern pride. Southern pride shouldn't have anything to do with hate. Southern pride should have nothing to do with a color. We're all from here. And I feel like that Confederate flag is built to intimidate and put fear. There's people that didn't want to show up today because they don't know what type of repercussions they might see from jobs, from the police department. It's 2020. We shouldn't be living like that right now. I'm a man of God, so I'll continue to fight against any form of hate, even if it comes in the form of racism and intimidation. I'm a man of standards, so I'll stand here every chance I get and stand for what is right. I don't mind saying I was wrong. I don't mind saying I did 14 years in prison because of my wrongs. But I don't celebrate my wrongs. And I don't think as a county we should be either. Thank you.
Mr. Moore, would you tell them about the program that you have going on at Kinder?
Yes, I'll gladly do that. There's a grant that associate agency received that we actually worked with during the summer. It's a community-based program, and what they did is they received a grant of quite a lot of money, and because they worked with us, they invited Montgomery County to be a part of the program. So what we have been doing for the last 2 months or so in Brutonville School and at True Worship Ministries, we've been providing COVID support. We received a grant to actually help people of all colors that have been impacted by COVID. If you had a medical professional, if you had a contact tracer, or a local or state official advised you to quarantine because of COVID, if your income was impacted, we're providing services in the form of an $800 stipend. We're providing services in the form of food, medical supplies, COVID supplies, and even transportation if you're quarantined and can't get out. And all you have to do is come in and fill out a simple application, and we submit it, and we provide the food and the medical supplies that we have on site. And the money is actually sent in from another organization. But it's all from a nonprofit organization, and we've helped over, in Broomville, we've helped over 2,000 families right here in Montgomery County in the last 2 months.
Thank you for both of those comments.
Yes, sir.
Looks like the next person is Antonio Marshall. If you would just state your name and your address for the record.
Hello, my name is Antonio Marshall, 852 South Main Street, Troy, North Carolina. For starters, my soldier's code, I'll just read this for you. I am an American soldier, protector of the greatest nation of the earth, sworn to uphold the Constitution of the United States. I will treat others with dignity, respect, and expect others to do the same. I will honor my country, the Army, my unit, and my fellow soldiers by living Army values. No matter the situation I am in, I will never do anything for pleasure, profit, or personal safety which will disgrace my uniform, my unit, or my country. Lastly, I am proud of my country and its flag. I want to look back at it and say that I'm proud to have served as a soldier. when we first opened up this meeting, we all did a prayer and the Star Spangled Banner, or, you know, gave our praise to the flag. I grew up down South Main Street, and as a kid, my mom worked, we owned Broadway's place down in Troy. I used to sit on the little stoop of the doorsteps, and I would watch four-wheel drive trucks pass by with rebel flags flying off the back of it, throwing beer bottles out. At this time, of course, Willie Moore is a little older than me, so some of the problems that I saw as a kid, I watched those problems as they erupted. I must say, I am proud of that flag right there. I served with that flag. I served with many people of different origins, races, religions. And, you know, it does hurt my heart to know that the flag, even though it's part of heritage, just like the swastika, has been taken from its originality to represent something totally different. And if we want to see a change in Montgomery County, the change begins with us, each and every one of us, and what we teach our children. So it is up to us as adults if we want to see a change for your children, our children, and the children's children. It's horrific. 20 years I've been gone just about, and I come back and there's no changes here at all. No changes. What future do we have for our children? If I would have known Troy had not changed, I probably would never came back. And it's sad. It really is. I hope that you all, with the oaths that you have and the powers before you, can help change this country, because ultimately it begins with you guys. We're just people living here. And we look up to you all to make that change for us, because we can't do it. And if we did do it, then Mr. Kearney back here in the back would be arresting all of us for doing something that we probably shouldn't be doing. And that's standing for what's right. That's my time. I must say also, Low Warner, we give a lot of praise to Low Warner, Medal of Honor recipient. I served in 82nd Engineer Battalion in Bamberg, Germany. I went to Dachau, to some of the concentration camps. If people like that statue, put it in a museum where they can go see it if they want to see it. That's on them. But for the people that don't want to see it, we shouldn't have to drive by it every day and be reminded by some of our horrors in life.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall.
Yes, sir. You all have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The next person on the list is Chase Larson. If you would state your name, address, Mr. Larson.
Chase Lawson, 2788 109 North, Troy, North Carolina. Good evening. I wrote you guys another speech, but before I get into that, I want to tell you why this is personal for me. 2006, I lost a close friend in Iraq, and had I not just told you, you'd never know about his sacrifice. That monument outside, that's what that monument outside represents. It represents the sacrifice men made and the women they left behind who supported them. It's not meant to disrespect the black community. It's meant to acknowledge the warrior community. That's why I can't sit idly by and watch men in suits try to take what men in uniform earned. That monument is bought and paid for in blood by former members of this community. My original intentions when I first addressed the commissioners in September was to defend the history of the war monument. My opinion then and still is that the monument should remain as is, where is, because that monument represents the citizens of Montgomery County who are willing to sacrifice everything for their beliefs. My position hasn't changed, and in my hand are the signatures of 1,340 Montgomery County citizens from across each of your districts who agree. This is the petition that's been circulating since the NAACP came to town and tried to deem us all racist. And I'll be submitting these to the clerk. When you review the petition, I challenge you to look at the names. There are people of all races, religions, political parties, and tax brackets who sign this. These signatures represent the will of your people, and you as elected officials on this issue should vote based upon your constituents' views, not on behalf of an organization with an agenda, such as the NAACP, which is why we're here in the first place. Also in attendance here are the citizens of our community. Unlike the NAACP, I didn't feel the need to go outside of the community and assemble an army to get my point across. This is a local matter, and frankly, the opinion of outsiders shouldn't matter. Keep in mind, the same people lecturing us on racism is the same group that as recently as 2015 invited Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan to speak at their event. The removal of all Confederate history has been a goal of theirs for well over 30 years, and the reasons cited are racism and offensiveness. Their argument is that the South fought a war over slavery, which is quickly dismissed when you do some research instead of reading talking points and realize the North used all black slave regiments to fight the South, Delaware specifically. So how could a war be fought over slavery when both sides use slaves? It's an inconvenient truth when you're pushing an agenda, but that doesn't make it untrue. The next argument the NAACP has is the KKK flew the Confederate flag, so that must make it racist. This part's actually true. The Klan did fly the Confederate flag, but I remind you, they also flew the American flag and the Christian flag, just to name a few. So is every Christian in this room racist because a hate group decided to pervert Christianity, such as they perverted Confederate history? Is every American serving in uniform racist because we proudly wear the American flag? Again, another inconvenient truth. See, facts don't matter when you're pushing an agenda. This is 100% about self-preservation. The fact is, the NAACP, Black Lives Matter, and other groups who find it necessary to include race in their organization name wouldn't exist if they couldn't keep racism alive and well. Apparently some people don't mind, but here are the facts. It's a lie that the Confederate flag represents racism. It's a lie that this is a racist community. It's disrespectful to every veteran who served in uniform, and it's a shame the NAACP would use its platform to continue to divide a community when they could be using their resources to better the community.
Mr. Larson, your time is up.
Okay.
Was this,
I would like to yield my time. My name is Jada Lawson. I live at 2788 NC 109 North in Troy, North Carolina.
okay, thank you. So you got 3 more.
I'm calling on you as local leaders to get away from outside influence. If the 1,000+ signatures aren't enough and you as elected officials can't make a decision on this issue, after reviewing the legal aspects such as the 2015 Heritage Protection Act, I ask that you put it on a ballot and let your people have a voice. A national group does not and will not ever speak for the people in Montgomery County, and it shouldn't speak for the commissioners either. Thank you again for your time and attention.
Thank you, Mr. Larson. The next person is Steve Campbell. If you would state your name and the...
Good evening. My name is Stephen Campbell. I live at 1358 McKay Hill Road, Mount Gilead. Thank you, Commissioners. It's a pleasure. These brief comments tonight are in reference to the intact preservation of the Montgomery County Veterans Memorial, known as the Doughboy Statue, and its uncensored recognition of military veterans. The Montgomery County Veterans Memorial is a display of respect for the sons of Montgomery County who have, over the centuries, answered the call to duty from the state of North Carolina and the nation. 2 facets are paramount regarding this subject, that of understanding and that of respect. Understanding the past history with all of its imperfections, for none of us are flawless. Understanding the plight of an enslaved people and their continuing endeavor for equality in the nation. Understanding the concern of the descendants of men and women honored on this monument, many of whom to this day make Montgomery County their home. And respect for the rights of all as protected by our Constitution. And seeing that dignity, not divisiveness, is the path that leads to a greater understanding together. Some people say history can be changed, yet we cannot not undo, erase, nor rewrite the factual events of the past. We can endeavor to learn from the missteps of those bygone days and strive together not to repeat them. There are times when reason is clouded by emotional or politically charged rhetoric, yet what remains are the facts and the reality of the world to deal with. Each of us strives and desires to do what is best for our families, our communities, our state, and our nation. This monument commemorates historically significant events in the county and state's history. It is not a monument glorifying the short-lived American Confederacy. Rather, it is to recognize the sons of Montgomery County who answered the call to duty of their home state. It is our duty as citizens to ensure that future generations know exactly what took place, the varnished and the tarnished. For you see, there is just history. Now is the time to embrace and recognize all of our history, to honor the contributions of all people, regardless of their race or gender, without censorship without bias, nor lacking the moral fiber to accept what has taken place in the past and moving forward together. What long-term purpose would it serve to sow the seeds of discourse, disaffection, or alienation between ourselves? Both sides of this issue have a responsibility to this governing body, to our fellow citizens of the county, to present the facts pertaining to the proposed changes of the monument. It should not be an emotionally, politically, media-frenzied, or divisive charged presentation. Perhaps this board would prefer to refer this issue to a fact-finding group comprised of men and women from each side of the issue, an ad hoc committee to work with or perhaps independently of the existing monument committee. This recommendation being tendered to the board to present the facts will enable you to make an informed decision applicable to your constituents and the citizens of the county, whether it be by resolution,
Your time is up, sorry.
ordinance, or ballot. So let us endeavor to work together. Let us have a practical decision and not become entangled in a legal battle, nor take away from the coffers of the counties for endless studies and projects that serve no purpose. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Next person is Jesse Hauser. If you would,
Ladies and gentlemen,
if you would,
about history.
Mr. Hauser, if you would state your name and
Oh,
and
okay,
address
excuse
just
me.
for the record.
Okay, it's Jesse Hauser, and it's 428 Craven Street, Star, North Carolina. Okay, and I should have 2 other people like that that's gonna be calling me, okay?
They're gonna give you your time.
Yes, sir, so that
Would you
would,
like,
that
would
would,
y'all give your name and address so we
you
have to
didn't-
interrupt him? Who is gonna allot you the time? Their time?
Anyway, and then the police officer there, he was going to do it. Okay, I appreciate this, because I was going, okay.
Hold on, Mr. Trout. If he get his name and address. So that'll give you 3 minutes, that'll give you 6 minutes total. If you need 3 more, you got 1 more.
What about you? You do it? If you need it, I'll give it to you. Okay, I sure do appreciate it. Anyway, this, as far as history, I've done a whole lot of study of history. I spent 6 years studying the Civil War, so I know pretty good much about it. Jim Ray was gonna do this right here. Now I gotta do it, and I think y'all know who Jim Ray is, but everybody knows him. Russell Fuller, he's not here now either, and I kinda wish he was here, but anyway, if there's any hate going on, let's just have a little bit of love. Otherwise, we might lose our doggone country. And that's how the system can doggone go right there. And anyway, let me see where I'm at. I got too many doggone papers here. Tell me, I lost one of these things. Anyway, I got it right here. Thank you. Anyway, the first 1/2 of the Civil War was nothing much going on as far as slavery or anything right there. It was about Abraham Lincoln's rights. As far as his goal was to keep the South and the North to come together right there. That was the reason why. And the South wanted to be a separate. That's how the system went right there. The first 1/2 of the Civil War, the doggone Civil was, they were actually winning the doggone wars right there. Anyway, halfway through, Abraham Lincoln had a winner right there. And so he did the Emancipation Proclamation right there. Okay, and I'm not going to tell all about the Emancipation Proclamation, but one of the reasons was to stop the British from making the South a county right there. They had been doing all sorts of things for them right there. But anyway, Abraham also could not have, anyway, with the Emancipation Proclamation, what they didn't do was they didn't let all the people in the South to actually have slaves. The one up the North could actually have slaves right there. Now, people say that all the slaves was, but anyway, when that happened, after the war was over, General Grant, everybody ought to know him. He was the best doggone one that there was right there, and he still had his slaves, and they had to come up to him and say, hey, you got to leave and get out of here because the doggone war is over. So he had to let his slaves go right then, okay? And anyway, also, as far as Abraham Lincoln, the last battle that there was in the whole war right there was Bentonville, North Carolina. They come up through California, I mean, they actually come down to South Carolina, and they come up in there, and the war ended right there. And what Abraham Lincoln did, he went out there and played Dixie for them right there. See, he was going to get everybody to come back together. That's how he was. But there was a problem right there, because one bullet went in the back of his doggone head right there, and that one bullet cost everybody everything right there, because they were all, he was going to let everybody come back together and work, but he didn't. And it's been about 12 years that it was real hard back then. In the South it was, because everybody hated him because he got killed right there, okay? Now, I'm a little bit into Indians right there myself. Anyway, my grandmother was an Oklahoma Cherokee Indian, 1885 and 1992, and I'm one right here myself. I'm just not a full right there. She was a full right there, and our ancestors had to do the Trail of Tears from the mountains up in North Carolina all the way to Oklahoma right there. And they had to make that whole trials right there. And that was 1838 was when that actually happened. And they're okay on that. You talking about people complaining, boy, this is complaining right here, because there was 30,000, well, there was 20,000 when they put them down there. There were 3,000 to 7,000 of them that actually died on that trap right there. And so that would be, if the 7 that I said right there, I mean, one third of them died on that trail right there. They went all the way down there. And there was about 100 Indians that was hid out in the mountains of North Carolina. They went out there and hid out. And that's how that we've actually got that down now in our mountains. If you go down there, they play doggone games down there. But anyway, the Indians, the Quakers, it's the same thing that happened the last time. Was when Ashbur, they had 6 people right there that was killed by the home guard, and there was 2 in this county right here. They actually killed 2 of them. And the Quakers was the one that's always hiding these people out. Starr was really good for that, and so was Ashbur. Was always real good. They used to hide people out during the doggone war right there. Anyway, during the Civil War, the Cherokees made a big mistake. What they did is they actually sided with the South. Well, the South lost that war right there, okay? So they actually had a strip that was 60 miles wide and 200 miles that right there that actually belonged to the Cherokee. They actually gave them that right there. Well, in 1888, they come in there, and y'all bound to seen about that. In 1888, they come in and took all the white people and probably some of the slaves or whatever, or blacks, whatever. They actually come in there and took all that stuff. And
Mr. Hauser, hold on just a minute. Was that Mr. Kearney, was he going to allot you his 3 minutes? Was that what he
Yes,
did?
sir.
So
Okay.
Mr. Kearney back there,
Okay.
you
Here.
got 3 more minutes.
Gentlemen, okay, I sure do appreciate this right here. Anyway, from 1830 to 1950, Oklahoma had 33 different types of Indians. They were all pushed from the east all the way to halfway across Oklahoma. They actually pushed them right there. That's what they did with all the Indians. Now, you know, people want to complain about that. But anyway, the other, make sure I got this right. Anyway, from 1850 to around 1900, the Indians that were out west, that was ones that already got through. They would have sometimes shoot people just for kicks and giggles. They would have people that was poisoning with doggone clothes. They were actually doing this stuff because they had the white people had lands, but the Indian didn't. But that land actually belonged to them right there, but they didn't get it right there. So Ishii, if y'all have ever heard of Ishii, you need to read the doggone book on right there, because he was the last true Indian in America that was standing. That was in 1913, and he had 37 people that was with him in his family. Every doggone one of them either got killed or stomped or something right by the people that was there, and that was in Northern California right there. And anyway, He wound up hiding in the doggone mountains up there for about 20 years, and he finally gave up on it, come down, and he thought they were gonna kill him or eat him, one or the other. When he come out, and he actually got accepted by 1813, and he there was a museum right there, and he went in there and showed them how everything was done, because they didn't really know how all that Indians was doing stuff. The only thing that he had ever used was a piece of glass, is all he'd used. In 1492, the first time they come over, there was 10 million Indians right here. Right now, as far as us right now, we got 4 million now. So everything's coming out like that right there. Anyway, why don't the Indians, why don't they just go down there and tear that flag out? Why don't the Indians do it? Because I know why, but I ain't gonna get into that because I ain't got time for that right there. So 1 out of 20 people around here did not have slaves, okay? There's 20, okay, there's only like 1 out of 20, and out of those ones, some of them found food, that they had to find food, especially that they had to go out there and do all this stuff, that finding a way to eat. If it rained or if it didn't rain, they'd be running around trying to find something to eat. But anyway, at least the slaves got good food and a place to sleep right there. Anyway, red and yellow, black and white, they're precious in the sight right there. And that's very, very important. There's love in it and there's hate in it. There's people that have both right there, love and hate. And right there, as far as the blacks around here, I get along with all of them. I love them. First thing I try to do to them is to try to get them to smile. And man, I'll tell you what, the blacks will flat out do it. They got the best social skills of anybody that I know of. And I get them laughing, and I say, hey, you got my hair standing up there right there like that. I love the heck out of it. And I've got 2 others right there. One's Margot Gaddy. If y'all don't know her, you need to know her. And if you don't know Andrea Marshall, I was teaching at the college. I lost my dang job after 14 years. They went down to school and said, hey, I want to get Jesse Hauser a chance to teach down there. And I did it, and I guarantee you, if you want to meet any of my students, you ask them about me, because I did everything I could, although I'm the only one that was a Marine that ever did there. I was tough on them, but I gave them love, I gave them compassion, and I gave them consequences. I tell them what it is.
Mr. Hauser, your time is up.
It is.
Yes.
Y'all got to watch out for people like me.
Thank you for your
Okay.
comments.
I run my mouth too much.
Thank you.
God bless y'all.
Thank you.
I love everybody, by the way, we're supposed to. Montgomery County's a wonderful town.
The next person, I think, is Manio Marshall. Is that correct? Mario, okay. If you would state your name and address, Mario.
Mario Marshall, 164 Church Road. That's hard to follow up, but I will say that everything he said is in history books, which is why we don't need that Confederate flag on us. If that's what he was defending, that's why we don't need it on there. We can go read about it if that's the case. I know they got a lot of, a stack of petition papers I seen him out there. He lives on 109. I seen a lot of those petition papers in the store up on 109 up 109 at the store. I know it's a lot of people that come in that gas station. I know I would love to see the people that's on there that signed it from here. And he had a friend in Iraq, I think it was. I was there too. I'm a Marine. I was stationed there. I fought for my country as well. And I wonder why my name ain't on that petition. Maybe my brother, Mr. Willie Moore, because we served in the military. And I was just wondering why our names weren't on there. But that being said, I got a daughter back here that I also have to raise. And my name is on that statue just as well as everybody else's. And I have to walk her by that flag. But now I'm the kind of father, I got to give her the whole history on that flag. I got to tell her how I sat on South Main Street and watched my mama struggle to make it. And like my brother said, people came by yelling obscene words and justice. So I got to tell my daughter that whole story on that flag, as well as the war that they fought and lost. I ain't gonna take up too much time, and I just want to say thank you all for your time. I appreciate it so much.
Mr. Marshall, I think if you do want those names that you can get, I think the copy of the record is in the record, so if you did want to see that, you could.
Oh, love to. Thank you so
We'll
much.
submit them to the clerk.
Appreciate it.
Everybody
Thank you so
will
much.
have copies. They get
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Marshall. The next person is the Mayor Troy, Sherry Allgood. Former mayor. They always call you mayor anyway, if you, once you've been there.
I appreciate this time. Thank you so much, Board, for allotting us the opportunity to voice our concern, and that is that is commendable. And I know you have some decisions that you have to make, and it's not gonna please everyone, and I understand that. And I also understand sometimes, you know, the pressures that you have based upon your own constituents, those that you have to see every day. And because we tend to gather around the people that we know and we're comfortable with, and those that have the same type of opinions that we have as well, it may be difficult that even if you go against that grain, to go back and have to look at them in their faces. And I understand that. I do understand that. But one of the things that I hope and pray that as you make this decision tonight, that you go beyond the surface, that you go beyond the voices that are out there, that you go beyond all of that, all of the rhetoric, that you go beyond your opinions and what you think based upon a political stance. And you go within yourself and examine your heart and your mind and put yourself on the other side. What if your ancestors had to endure what our ancestors had to endure? What if you were that person who was deemed, as the man said, a slave and may have been beat, raped? I'm a product of a great grandmother who was raped by her father, and then after they had a baby, then he raped the baby, right? And so those things that whenever we see that Confederate flag, those are things that are ignited in us. And if we can get away from that, if you really want to get rid of division, take away the symbols of division. If that's what we want, if that's really what we want to do, is to get rid of division and stop it, because that flag is an ultimate symbol of division. I don't mind you flying your flag at home. I don't mind you on your own private property. But when we come to our public places where every person has the right to be, and we have to walk past that to remind, just for the sake of, hey, my ancestors fought in that war. Well, we understand that. But my ancestors was also a part of that. And they weren't fighting because they wanted to. They were property, 3/5 of a person. My husband is going to allot my time as well, so he'll give me 3 minutes. You want to say yours? Sherry Allgood, 435.
435 Ruby Street.
So with that being said, I know Commissioner Dawson, you had stated about it being against the law. One of the questions I do ask is, who actually owns that statue? That's the question. We have to ask ourselves that. Because according to that same General Statute 100, it says it's based upon state, owned by the state, right? And if it's owned by the state, that means that we cannot alter it. But if it's not owned by the state, that means that the county may do what it deems that it needs to do, right? So it's not based upon it being illegal, because I'm not asking that it be removed. But what I am asking is, if it's a World War I statue, let's keep it a World War I statue. Take the flag off, and let's just put names on there of the actual people. Because if you want to remember the loved one that fought, let's put their name on there. We're not knocking that. But as far as the flag, is the flag necessary? That's what you got to ask. Is it really necessary? Because if it's not necessary, we can be talking about, like the young man said, we could be talking about something else right now. But one thing that we don't want to do is, we don't want to keep this symbol that it may be heritage to some, but you got to consider everybody that's here in Montgomery County. Let's replace it with the American flag. Yeah. How about we do that? Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Hawkins.
American all the way.
There may be someone that would like to speak that didn't get on the list. If there's someone here that would like to, now's the time.
Mr. Chair, can I ask, the resolution was presented from the NAACP. Will we be allowed to respond
Well, it's an action item, and we wasn't gonna take any comment at that time. If you would like to say something now, that would be the appropriate time to come on and say it now.
Thank you, sir. My name is Damon Harrison, 411 Newport Drive. To you, Mr. Chair, to all the members of the board, I first want to say to the new commissioners, congratulations, and we hope and pray that you will take this heavy responsibility seriously and work in favor of all people of Montgomery County, and I certainly trust that you will. I just want to say, and I don't need to repeat what's been said thus far, I just want to again make it very clear what the request was from the NAACP. And that was that Confederate flag, which is widely recognized as a symbol of the Confederate South, which was fought, that war was fought to preserve the right to own people, human beings, like you and I who are here this evening. And I just want to just acknowledge the fact, or help us to acknowledge the fact, that symbol is a trigger for many people. If you look up the name Dr. Joy DeGrasse, she lifts up a theory called post-traumatic slave disorder, very similar to post-traumatic stress disorder, which she espouses that it is very possible that though we who are living in present day 2020 did not live during that time, we are very much affected by what took place during that time. Generations before us are still dealing with the impacts of slavery, and that flag represents that. We're not asking for that statue to be taken down. We're simply asking for it to be altered in such a way that it's representative of all the people in this county. Contrary to the belief that was lifted up earlier, the NAACP does not seek to paint Montgomery County as a racist county. For the mission of the NAACP is to ensure the educational, political, social, and equality of rights for all persons, and to eliminate racial hatred and racial discrimination. That's our goal. That's what we do, and that's why we're standing for this cause. And so I just ask you to take that into consideration as you make your decision. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Harrison.
Hi, I'm Sandra Harris, 658 Green Street, Bisco, North Carolina, 27209. I'm up here tonight to not only talk about one issue. We have several issues that we need to talk about. Montgomery County motto is a golden opportunity. For you that are new here, read over the Montgomery County website, familiarize yourself with it, and think, what is a golden opportunity? Is it fair for some people to just have a golden opportunity and not others? Because of maybe their social status, because of their race, their gender, their sexual preferences? Are those things that we judge people off of? Recently, because Montgomery County is a golden opportunity county, we have a homeless issue. I bet some people did not know that, and we need to resolve it because we are a golden opportunity. We want to make sure that everybody in Montgomery County has adequate housing. They have food, they have shelter. They're able to go home in this degree weather and be warm. Now, my second issue, we've had some issues with our sheriff's department in the last 3 months. And we have to face those issues. It's racial discrimination. Well, I'm not gonna say it's, I'm gonna say this. There have been some issues in which men have been beaten up and they're African American. So I kind of wonder, what is the reason behind it? Now, I will say this, both men have been charged with resisting arrest and assault on an officer. How convenient is that every time someone is beat up, they are resisting arrest or assault on an officer? So take that in consideration. Lastly, I want to talk about, well, not lastly, third, how many more minutes ago? Okay. So let's talk about our low-income communities. They don't look right. They don't look like the communities that other people have. If you go from the south side of Troy and then go to the north side, they look totally different. And that's in every town in Montgomery County. We have to fix that. We have to make sure that everybody, community looks similar, looks the same. It's not fair for some child to be able to go home and not have to worry about anything on their street, but another child may have to worry about what's going on their street. It's not fair. Montgomery County, if we're going to be a golden opportunity for all, We have to think about what is it, this golden opportunity that we're telling people that we offer. When people come through Montgomery County, what are they seeing? What are they seeing not just on the main place, on the main streets, but what if they see if they go off the beaten track? Are they gonna see homelessness, low-income communities that are suffering, that don't have sidewalks, children don't have anywhere to play? Is that what Montgomery County is about? And lastly, golden opportunity. We have a okay, we already know about that statue, and y'all know I'm against it. I would say that, you know, it's not fair for us to have a statue that's hanging up there that has a Confederate flag on it. But what about the other nationalities that live in Montgomery County? We have an Asian nationality, we have a Haitian nationality, which is black. We have an African American nationality. We have Indians, American Indians from India. Then we have Native Americans. Are we gonna let everybody be represented on that statue out there? If we're not, then we cannot represent just one. We have to represent all. You as new commissioners, please think, what is a golden opportunity for all in Montgomery County? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Ashley Harris, 213 Midnight Street, Asheville, NC, 27371. I'm trying to really think of the topic that I really want to discuss. One of my issues that I have is we talk about division and there's no racism in Montgomery County. If you feel that way, then you are the problem. Racism have been here, and it's here, and it's, the way it's looking is here to stay because people in the office do not want to change it. There's things that goes on, and I'm piggyback off of Zandra, that goes on the south side that do not go on the other side. There's following, there's harassment, there's things that those people need. They have been told a lie of what they're getting ready to get, and they're not. They've been told this wonderful dream that the new mayor's gonna come in and he's gonna do this and that, but what he's gonna do is move them out to make everyone else look good, to put money into your pockets. Troy have been, on the south side, have been neglected for years. I shouldn't have the same story that my cousin had, my aunt had, as far as nothing here for the youth. I know for a fact that Sherry Allgood went over and beyond. I know for a fact that there was barriers that were put in front of her that she went around to make sure that she did things for the community, to help them, to help everyone. It wasn't just one race, it was with everyone. And because she was doing her job, then you had to get her out. But you said it's not racism here. Was it that she didn't do her job is the reason why she's not a mayor anymore? What was it so bad that what she was given and low incomes and the way she was out in her community and her church, what was so bad that we had to get her out, but yet we kept the same mayor for 39 years to the point where it's a ghost town here. It's a ghost town. Kids are being neglected. We have the new high school and still $80 million and there's still nothing here for the kids to do after school. So what we have, harassment. We have the cops going up and down the street, pulling people over now for no reason. And like she said, now all of a sudden they're resisting. There's nothing here. There's racism, we have to change it. There's division, we have to see it. And if we don't see it, we don't change it, we're gonna continue to be the way that we are. And that's all.
Thank you.
Good evening, Eric Allsbrook, New London, North Carolina. Mr. Ray Allen here, was a supervisor over in the city of Albemarle and with the city. And one thing is our work policy is that if anything towards within your work policy offend you, sex, race, religious, that's harassment, you be fired. Now, back at West Montgomery, born and raised right in Mount Gilead. If you did something wrong in high school, you get thrown out of school. If you did something wrong down at Fayetteville State, you get thrown out of school. But as we see history over and over accumulate, that flag is still standing out there. I can't take that flag home and put it in a pot and cook it. But it's still, if our kids is raised up to see that flag, that some of these military people have went and fought for our country, and they still fight, and that's offending them, something is wrong. I'm pretty sure if they would have had an African flag up there or a Cherokee flag up there, and let's be realistic, some of you others you'll be offended by it. And like that gentleman said, talked over at school, he said, I loved everybody. Don't just do it because of the blacks and white. Do it because it's righteous. It's just like Miss Allgood said, put the United States flag up there. Me and my wife is the only one to live over there in New London in an all-white neighborhood. I see it every day. I see it every day. It don't bother me because just like I said, I ain't got to take that flag home with me. But I see my kids, Tracy and Lauren, say stuff to their kids. They went to Greystone, said it do bother me. And here it is, I'm up to 50 years and that flag been over there over 50 years. It's time to remove it. If you all looked at West Montgomery, you looked at East Montgomery, good school, still in good, perfect condition, nothing wrong with it. But the county says it's time to do what? To do another school. Bring them to one. Look at that flag out there. It's time to make a change. You made a change in high school, in each high school, it's time to make a change in that flag. Look at the overall picture. Let's don't look at one side. Put all sides together and come in one package. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Owens. Is there anyone else? If not, we're going to close the comment period. The next item is the consent agenda. Any questions concerning the consent agenda? Hearing none, would someone like to make a motion that we approve the consent agenda items?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Hassel. Do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Second by Commissioner Dawson. All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. The next item is the action item on the courthouse monument decision. Since we have new members on the board, we have come to the conclusion that we are going to defer consideration. And what that means is we're going to put it off and let the new members have a chance to talk it over. And hopefully we will meet back. And I had a call this afternoon from a gentleman, and he suggested that too, that he thought that was best because he wanted to come and speak. And he felt like that there were a lot of people since the COVO was on that we needed to hold off on it. So we are going to defer it for consideration. And I don't know if there's any other commissioner that would like to say anything or speak.
No, obviously being one of the new commissioners, I support this idea because I think there's lots to learn. There's been many voices that have been shared today. There's lots of both sides that have to be looked at, and I think we all have to have understanding of what that means within this county. So as Ms. Allgood spoke, what are the legal ramifications? Who has ownership of that statute? What does that mean once we determine ownership? What are the rights that can be done? Because there are very specific things that can and cannot be done per that statute. So we need to understand those things because I, for one, just took an oath that I will uphold the Constitution and the laws of this state and of the United States. So we need to understand what that means. So I totally support deferring. That doesn't mean we don't want to address the issue. It just means we need to take some time so that we have an opportunity to really understand this issue because it's not a small issue. And the decision can't be made rashly or quickly. And I think you all, no matter the side, I think would value that we would commit that amount of time to really dig into this and understand it.
And I apologize too for that. I should have noticed when we did this, that this was going to be the December meeting when we were going to have new board members that were really not familiar. And so I apologize for not catching that when we were deferring it to December, which is appointed a new board. So I'll have a motion. Do I have a motion to defer it for consideration?
I make a motion that we seek legal counsel and look at what could be done legally, and also that we look at getting a professional to look at the statute to see what could happen, how it could be remedied if, you know, if we wanted to change it, what needed to be done to keep from destroying the statute. Not just have somebody come in there and try to sandblast it and then crack it all to pieces, but look at somebody that could do something professionally. So I make the motion that we seek the legal counsel and look at that part of it and also look at a professional.
So we have a motion by Commissioner Robinson. Do I have a second?
I second that motion.
Seconded by the other Ms. Robinson. Thank y'all for that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The next item is the county manager's report, which is,
Yes, sir. First of all, if I could take a moment of personal privilege just to thank the board for entrusting me with being your county manager, albeit for a very short period of time. But I'm looking forward to working with you. The staff here have been great, been very accommodating, very helpful. Today is my very first day, just like it is for 3 of you up there on the dais. So, but it's gone well. And I'll be here probably in the office around 3 days a week on average. However, you all will have my mobile number, and whether I'm in the office or not, please feel free to call me if there's anything that I can do to assist you. Mr. Chairman, you have the reports in your packet for the manager's report. Myself or staff will be happy to answer any questions about those if we can.
does anyone have any questions? Thank you. The next item is the closed session to discuss personnel. Do I have a motion to close the regular meeting and go into a closed session?
I make a motion to close the regular meeting and move to the closed session.
And I will second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Hassel
And I will second that motion.
and seconded by Commissioner Dawson. All in favor?
Aye.
And also on that, we're going to ask Ms. Jones to go into a closed session with us on that. And we shall return sometime.
lipstick on before I left.
Just one fifty note before you call it back in session.
No, I didn't put it.
To reconvene the regular scheduled meeting.
I will make a motion to reconvene the regular.
Have a motion
scheduled
by
meeting.
Commissioner Dawson. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second is by Commissioner Robinson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? In the closed session, we had 17 respondents, I think is the word we're going to go with, to the job for the county manager. Dottie and I are going to look at the top 5 that each commissioner's going to put their top 5 in after looking at these applications, and they're going to submit them to Misty, and then Dottie and I will give a preliminary interview to those 5, and I guess if we like that, then we will move it to have all the commissioners do the formal interview. That sound like where we were at?
Sounds good.
Does anyone else have anything else? I don't think there's anything else. I did think about something. Commissioner Dawson asked me about the, what was it, the bonds.
On the agenda,
We-
we didn't go through the approval of the bonds.
They were on the consent agenda.
Were they? I thought that was up there at the top.
It was separate.
Yeah, I missed that part.
Well, actually, Ms. Robinson is, and I missed the second. No, you have to wait.
Yeah, I think it would.
Obviously, that does require a separate.
Can we, thank you. Can we do that now? Under-
Thank you. So going back to that, would someone like to make a motion that we approve the bonds for the, I guess those are our employees. Would someone like to make a motion that we approve those? Or any questions?
Can we do that?
Yes, it was on the agenda.
It was.
Open session, so you can do that.
I make the motion that we approve the bonds that have been recommended by finance manager.
Have a motion by Commissioner Dottie Robinson. Do I have a second?
A second.
Is that you, Mary?
Yes, I'm sorry.
Have a second by Commissioner Hassel. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. And I would just like to say that I look forward to working with you ladies. I don't know, this is kind of unusual. I think there's only been two ladies in the history of Montgomery County, and now there's 4.
Look at us.
So
Yeah.
I look forward. I'm excited. I think we can do some good things, and I'm excited. So I hope all of you have a Merry Christmas.
Me too.
I did send you a Thanksgiving thing on Messenger. I don't know if you got it or not.
Not yet.
Oh, could I have a motion then that we adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn our meeting.
I second.
Commissioner Dawson made the motion and Commissioner Robinson seconded it. And they're all in favor?